A very good evening to everyone. Let's begin with today's class. And as we say, let's crack CSIR-UGC NET with India's largest platform, that is Unacademy. So, the topic of today is Evolutionary Time Scale Part 1. But before beginning with the topic, let us have a small introduction about me and Unacademy. Unacademy is one of the India's largest platform for the preparation of CSIR-UGC NET. I'm Farida Bandookwala and I am a PhD student at SBT School of Biotechnology, DAVU. I've done MPhil in biotechnology and I've qualified MP SLET examination and have a teaching experience of 10 years. Unacademy is one of the India's largest platform for the preparation of CSIR Net Life Science. And what are the benefit of these online classes is that you can do these classes anytime, anywhere. Then there are daily life classes, and in these daily life classes, you can chat with your educator and you can ask your doubts and queries while the class is going on as well. Then there are structured courses so that you always remain updated for the next topic, which is going to be explained by the faculty members. And there are live tests and quizzes. And as I always say, if you want to qualify any kind of competitive examination, you need to uh, take up the old question papers and you need to understand the pattern of examination. So that is also possible with Unacademy. Then if you are going for plus subscription, you will get unlimited access to all the videos which are present on the platform. So one subscription gives you access to all the live and recorded courses, and that too at the comfort of your home. So Unacademy, it conducts the YouTube classes and it conducts the special classes and it conducts the plus classes. So the classes on YouTube are definitely free of cost. You can watch the videos on YouTube free, and there are special classes. You can watch these classes also free by just downloading the app, Unacademy Learning app, and make your account, and you can go and watch the special classes as well. Then for plus classes, you need to pay a certain subscription amount, and that subscription amount is also pocket friendly. That is not a much or bigger thing. And what I would suggest is go for a 12 monthly or 24 monthly plan. That will be highly beneficial for you people to crack the examination, because you will have enough time to understand the concept of the examination, and you will be quite acquainted with the terminologies which they ask in the examination. You will have a proper idea that which units are emphasized on. So just go for these packages, and in these packages also you can get a 10% discount if you are using my referral code, that is FB01. So do not forget to use my referral code FB01. By using my referral code FB01, you will be getting a 10% discount. So please go for this plus subscription and also use my code. Now the topic of today is evolutionary time scale part 1. And the same thing is also called as geological time scale. Geological time scale. So from the time the earth is formed till now, it is divided into certain events, and these are read under evolutionary time scale or geological time scale. So geological time scale is actually about the whole things of earth, how it formed, and evolutionary time scale is about how the evolution of organisms they occur in different time periods. So this is what we are going to talk about. So from origin of life, the total time span, it is divided into small pieces. From origin, life, the total time span is divided into small parts. And like this, so that we can know what exact time was during a event, so that we can know exact time of an event. So we know that time, it can be divided into certain small parts. So the time duration, they can be divided like what we call in today's time, it can be divided into century, which is actually composed of 100 years. The century can be brought down to decade. Decade is made up of 10 years. Decade can be divided into years. Years can be divided into months. Months can be divided into weeks, and weeks can be divided into days, further into minutes and seconds. So this is what we can actually track, what our brain can actually keep track of in a certain duration. So when we are talking about the history of Earth, it is actually not divided this way, because it is like billions of years back, story of 4.5 billion years ago. So it is not exactly divided like this, but the Earth history is divided into other kind of categories. So Earth's history is divided into Earth's history is divided into eons, then eras, then period, and then epoch. Eon being the largest and epoch being the smallest. So eon to epoch is the division of the Earth's history or Earth's time scale. Eon, era, period, and epoch. Now, eon being the largest one, how many eons are there? Eons. How many eons are there? So eons, they are written like this: first, second, third, and fourth. Four eons are there. Then in eons, there must be some eras. So this first eon is the oldest, and this one is newest, or in present, newest. So oldest eon and then era. So in the first eon, we don't know much. So there is zero era. Then for second eon also, there is zero era. For third eon also, we don't know much. So zero era. And for fourth eon, there are some eras. So the fourth eon, it has got three eras, that is first, second, and third. So first being the oldest, old and new. So like this it is divided. Then after eon and era, it comes period. This period, for first eon we don't have track of time, so period number 0. For second eon also we don't know much, so 0 period. For third eon we know a little bit, so there is one period in this third eon. And then in fourth eon and its 1, 2 and 3 era, there is something in this. So For the first era, there are 3 periods. For second era, there are actually 6 periods. And for the third era, there are first, second, and third period. First, second, and third period, like this. The periods are divided. So this is the way how the periods are there. Now, lastly, the smallest unit, that is epoch. In epoch, the oldest epoch 0. In the second epoch 0. Third epoch 0. Now, talking about the old to new, for the oldest one, first era, the periods are 3, but the epoch is 0. For the second era, in which there are 6 periods, again there are 0 epoch. For the third era, in which there are first, second, and third period, there are some things, that is, for the first, it is 3 epoch. For second, there are 2 epoch, and for third, there are 2 epoch. So you can remember the whole thing like this, that for a very old time, almost no data is there. So there is no division in the era, period, and epoch. Why is so? Because of no data. This thing is because of no availability of data. No other thing is there, just because of unavailability of data. We don't know much about this. And from the third eon, a little knowledge has been gathered, and for the fourth eon, there is lots of data, and then there are some eras, periods, and epochs as well. So, if someone asks you what is going on in the Earth's history, what is going on? So, what is going on in terms of Earth's history or Earth's period? So, what are you going to say? It is fourth eon. It is third era, and then in third era also it is third period, that is in today's time. This is the today's time, that is the fourth eon, third era, and third period. This is important. This you should not mug up, but this you should try to remember. So we have seen 4 eons, and the fourth eon is the latest one, so 4 comes from there. And in era also, just this fourth eon has got 3 eras, so the third era is the latest one. And in third era also there are 3 periods, so the third period is the latest one. So you can remember this well, and just remember it like this so that you can attempt the question, because this is important. Now let us see how many eons, era, and periods and epochs are there, along with their names as well. So we started the story from eon, right? Isn't it that we started the story from eon? Now if we are saying eon, so the oldest to newest or newest to oldest, whichever way you like. So we will write it from oldest to newest. So the first eon is Hayden. Second eon is Archean. Third eon is Proterozoic. Proterozoic, and the fourth eon is Phanerozoic. Phanerozoic. So this is the 4 eons in the category of Earth history: Hayden, Archean, Proterozoic, and Phanerozoic. So whenever the word zoic, you can see the zoic word is related to animals. This word relates to animals. So zoic, we know that previously there were no animals actually. So whenever zoic comes, that means it's a new time. And when word archae comes. So archaebacteria, they are very primitive to eubacteria as well. Archean is primitive, right? So this is how you can remember that Phanerozoic is the latest, Proterozoic is old, Archean is older to that, and Haden is the oldest. Now talking about what events actually occurred during these eons on a very large scale. So Haden, what happened in Haden eon? There was formation of Earth. Formation of Earth occurred. Then comes Archean. So the name itself is saying something related to archaebacteria. So primitive bacteria, they came. Primitive bacteria. Then Proterozoic is the primitive life. And Phanerozoic, it is the advanced life. Advanced life. So this is how eon is made up of. Now moving from this to a little ahead, or fine, here also you can just remember this Archean, Proterozoic and Phanerozoic and Haden. Now moving a little ahead and talking about the Phanerozoic, Proterozoic and Haden. Let us go back. So Phanerozoic, Phanerozoic, it has got three eras. Phanerozoic has got three eras. Then Proterozoic has got 0 eras, Archean has got 0 eras, and Haden has got 0 eras. So talking about the era in this list only, that which eon has got era, so only Phanerozoic has got eras. Or we can see we know only about the Phanerozoic eras, right? So the newest era, the latest era, latest era or newest era is Phanerozoic. Is Phanerozoic. Now, the three eras of Phanerozoic, what are the names? Latest era or latest eon. Latest eon. Latest eon or newest eon is Phanerozoic, and this Phanerozoic is made up of three eras, that is Cenozoic, then Mesozoic, and then Paleozoic. Cenozoic, Mesozoic, and Paleozoic. These are the three eras of Phanerozoic eon. Now talking about the three eras of this Phanerozoic eon. So Paleozoic. This Paleozoic, in this the word paleo means primitive. Paleo means primitive, and it is the oldest era. It is the oldest era. Then talking about Mesozoic. So this is the middle. Meso means middle. So this is the middle era. Then Cenozoic. Ceno means current. Ceno means current. So this is the recent. This is the recent era. So this is how the era of the fourth eon, they are divided. So remember the word. How will you remember the word? That Phanerozoic, it is the Phanerozoic. So in everything there is zoic. Zoic. So zoic. So zoic is related to Phanerozoic, right? Now talking about the eon, that is Proterozoic, and because there is one period, let us go to this table which we have drawn. See here. In this table, as you can see, there is one period in the third eon, and this third eon is the Proterozoic eon, and there is one period. So let us talk about this, and then we will take our story ahead from the Phanerozoic eon, because that is the main thing which we want to study. So in the eons, the third one, Proterozoic, has got one period, and we are going to talk about this one period of the Proterozoic. So let us take a pen. Yeah. So the eon, third eon, that is Proterozoic, eon, there is one period. There is one period, and this period is called as Ediacaran. 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 So there is no era and no epoch in Proterozoic eon, but there is one period, that is Ediacaran. So no era plus no epoch in Proterozoic eon. The only period in it is Ediacaran. So Proterozoic, when the primitive organisms were there, so Ediacaran is the one period of the Proterozoic eon. Remember this thing well. Ediacaran is the only period of Proterozoic eon, right? Ediacaran. Now talking about the Phanerozoic era, which we have to study in detail. So Phanerozoic eon, that is the fourth eon, and it is made up of Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. These is made up of these three eras. Now in these three eras we'll be dealing individually. So first one is Paleozoic. Paleozoic. This Paleozoic is made up of, let me take another color. So in this Paleozoic, there are certain divisions. So this Paleozoic itself is Paleozoic era is itself made up of certain divisions. So that are, we are going to talk about them. First is Permian. Second is Carboniferous. Then it is Denovian. Then it is Silurian. Then it is Ordovician. Then it is Cambrian. So Cambrian is the oldest and Permian is the newest. Now let us talk a little about what all events occurred in these time durations. So first of all, when we are talking about Permian, which is the newest one, what happened? Maximum animal and plant that it occurred. So mass extinction occurred in Permian. Mass extinction, it occurred in Permian. Then Carboniferous, what happened in Carboniferous? Gymnosperms, they increased in number and they are formed in the form of coal and dark material peat. So gymnosperms, they increased in number. Gymnosperms increased in number. Then comes Denuvian. So Denuvian is actually the age of when gymnosperms actually came. Gymnosperms came. Then comes Silurian. So in Silurian, there was the terrestrial habitat development. So pteridophytas were there. Pteridophyta. Age of pteridophyta. Then Ordovician. Ordovician, what happened during this? There was actually coral reef formation. Coral reef formation. Then lastly, the oldest one, that is Cambrian. So maximum evolution, it occurred in this era, in this time duration. Maximum evolution. Maximum evolution occurred during this time. So Permian, Carboniferous, Denuvian, Silurian, Ordovician and Cambrian. So this all what events I've told you over here, they are in terms of the plants. They are in terms of the plants which actually inhabit at that duration. Now what you need to do is you need to make a list of the events which occurred in terms of animals as well. I'm also going to tell you in further lectures, but what you need to do is you also need to make a list on your own in which you will be writing the names or the things of the events which occur in terms of the animals during these time, right? So this we talked about Phanerozoic eon, and in that also we talked about Paleozoic era. Now let us talk about the second era, that is Mesozoic era. Mesozoic era. Mesozoic era. This is the second era, and the three events of the Mesozoic era are, or when we say that there are, when we were doing this, we said that during Mesozoic era, there are some events which we need to study. So let us talk about the Mesozoic era. So in the Mesozoic era, we need to know about Cretaceous. Then we need to know about Jurassic. Then we need to talk about Triassic. So in Cretaceous, what happened? In Jurassic, what happened? And in Triassic, what happened? Triassic is the first one and Cretaceous is the last one. So this is the oldest, old, and this is the new. So Triassic is the origin of dinosaur. Dinosaur origin. And in Jurassic, the number of dinosaur was highest. High increased, and Cretaceous, extinction of dinosaur. extinction of dinosaurs. This is the Mesozoic era. Then we need to talk about Cenozoic era. What all things happened in Cenozoic era is Quaternary, then Neogene, then Paleogene. So this is the old and this is the new. Paleogene, primitive gene, Neogene, new gene, and then the complex structure of how the quaternary structure of proteins, they are formed made up of more than one or two sequences of polypeptides, so quaternary. So neo means new, the gene they gave rise to protein, and then in quaternary there were assimilation of 2-3 peptides and they gave rise to quaternary. So Cenozoic era is made up of quaternary, neogene and paleogene, right? So this is how we have talked about the eras, that is the three eras: Cenozoic, Mesozoic and Paleozoic. Now we need to talk about the epoch. In the era we have discussed about the periods, and then now moving towards the epoch, that what all epoch we need to talk about. So the epoch we need to talk about is a total 7 epoch we need to talk about. So let us move towards epoch. So total 7 epochs are there. And Cenozoic era, it has got this Paleogene, and this Paleogene itself is consisting of 3 epochs. So I'll make a list. Cenozoic era, and in this Cenozoic era, this Paleogene is made up of 3 epochs, that is Oligocene, then Eocene, then Paleocene. These are the 3 epochs of Cenozoic era. So Paleocene is the old and Oligocene is the new. Right? So the Paleogene of Cenozoic era, it is divided like this. The Paleo itself is telling primitive, Eo means simple, Oligo means improved or more complex, like oligosaccharides we say. So they are actually bigger molecules. So Paleo, primitive, and Oligo means the newer one or the more lengthy one. And how you are going to remember that these epoch belong to Paleogene to Cene. Now talking about the second thing, that is the Neogene. So talking about the epochs of Neogene, they are divided into 2 categories, that is Pliocene and Miocene or Miocene. So Mio is old and Plio is new. So these are the 2 epochs of Neogene. Now Quaternary. In the Cenozoic, Quaternary. The Quaternary is made up of again 2 epochs, that is Holocene and Pleistocene. So this is the recent time. So this is old and Holocene is new. You can remember Holo from Homo sapiens. You'll remember that Holocene is the newest epoch in time. Holocene is the newest epoch which you should remember in your mind. Now let us have a very quick revision of everything that we have read so far, and then we'll be beginning with the animals which dominated in this duration and all in the next class. So that we'll be doing in the next class, and let us begin with the revision. So eons, how many eons are there? There are 4 eons. How many eras are there? There are 3 eras. How many periods do we need to study? We need to study 30. And how many epoch do we need to study? We need to study 7. Now when we are talking about eon, the eons are themselves of 4 types, that is Phanerozoic, Proterozoic, Archean and Hidden. Then this Phanerozoic, Phanerozoic is divided into Cenozoic, Mesozoic and Paleozoic. And this period, which is previous to Phanerozoic, is also called as Precambrian period. Precambrian. Amongst these, Cenozoic, Mesozoic and Paleozoic, for Paleozoic we need to study certain periods. So we need to study 6 periods in our Paleozoic. So what were those 6 periods in Paleozoic? They were Permian, it was Carboniferous, it was Diluvian, it was Silurian, then it was Ordovician, and then it was Cambrian. So these are the 6 periods which we studied in Paleozoic. These are the periods which we study in Paleozoic. Now talking about the Mesozoic. Mesozoic is made up of again 3 things, that is C, J and D. What is the full form of C? That is Cretaceous, Jurassic. D is for Triassic. So this is for your Mesozoic. And when we are talking about Cenozoic, again it is made up of 3, that is Quaternary, Neogene and Pliocene. So the Precambrian period, that is Proterozoic, Archean and Hadean is there. So this is how we have seen the whole distribution of the table. We have seen the table in a very well manner, and I'm not including the names of the organisms in this because it will become a little confusing. That we'll be doing in the next class. So you just try to remember all these things in a well organized manner in your mind, that there are 4 eons, there are 3 eras, there are 13 period and there are 7 epoch. So these things if you can remember in a well systematic manner, it will be very much helpful for you. So as we do in the ending, we do a very quick revision of what we have read. So let us do that ways. So evolutionary time scale or geological time scale we were reading, and the whole time is divided into certain time scales, and when we are talking about Earth, it is divided into eon, which is the largest, and then it is divided into eras, and then it is divided into period, and then it is divided into epoch, and eon is the largest and epoch is the smallest. Now talking about the eon, there are 4 eons and the 4th one is the newest one. An era for eon, the first eon there is 0 era, no period, no epoch. For second eon there is no era, no period, no epoch. For third eon there is no era, there is 1 period and there is 0 epoch. Now for the latest eon there are 3 eras, 1, 2 and 3, and there are certain periods for that also we'll see, and there are certain epochs. So there are 13 periods and there are 7 epochs. Now what is going on in today's time? We are into 4th eon, 3rd era and 3rd period, and then eon they are Hadean, Archean and Proterozoic and Phanerozoic are the 4 eons. Then latest eon Phanerozoic itself is made up of Cenozoic, Mesozoic and Paleozoic. Then talking about the meaning of the terms, then the only period of Proterozoic was Ediacaran. Then we have seen the Paleozoic eon is divided into Permian, Carboniferous, Denovian, Silurian, Ordovician and Cambrian period. And then we have seen the meaning of each and everything. The Mesozoic era is divided into Cretaceous, Jurassic and Triassic. Then the Cenozoic era is divided into Quaternary, Neogene and Paleogene. And then the epoch, there are 7 epochs. So Paleogene is made up of Oligocene, Eocene and Paleocene. Neogene is made up of Pliocene and Miocene. And Quaternary is made up of Holocene and Pleistocene. So all this we have seen till now, and in the next class we'll be talking about the animals and other details of the evolutionary time scale. So for now, that is it, and please subscribe our channel, that is Let's Crack CSIR-UGC NET, and do not forget to hit the bell icon if you really like the video, and also do not forget to hit the bell icon for getting all the notifications of the upcoming videos. And lastly, do not forget to use my referral code, that is FB01, to get a 10% discount. By using my referral code FB01, you will be getting a 10% discount. So this is it for now. We'll be meeting in another class, and also do not forget to write in the comments if you want to study some specific topic in the syllabus of CSIR NET, and that will be very much um, helpful to you. So whichever topic you think that I need to explain to you, so just write it in the comment box, and you can write your queries and doubts also in the comment box. You can write the doubts in the live chat section, as well as you can write your doubts in the normal comment section if you are seeing my recorded video. So this is it for now. We'll be meeting with the second part of evolutionary time scale, and this is it for now. It's a bye from my side.